Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Ukraine hits back hard, and this time Russia is rocked by a fresh attack that has once again sent shockwaves through the battlefield and far beyond it. Just when many believed the war had settled into a grinding stalemate, events on the ground proved that the conflict is still dynamic, unpredictable, and extremely dangerous. What unfolded was not just another strike in a long list of attacks. It was a calculated message, delivered with precision, timing, and clear intent. For months, analysts have debated whether Ukraine still possessed the capacity to launch complex and effective operations under constant pressure. This latest development provides a powerful answer. Ukraine is not only holding on, it is adapting, learning, and striking back in ways that continue to surprise Russia and the wider world. As news of the attack began to surface, confusion spread rapidly. Initial reports were fragmented, coming from local sources, social media posts, and eyewitness accounts. Videos showed flashes of light piercing the night sky, followed by deep explosions that could be felt miles away. Thick smoke rose into the air as emergency sirens echoed across the affected region. Within hours, the story dominated headlines and reignited global attention. This was not an accident. This was not chance. This was strategy. To understand why this fresh attack matters so much, we need to understand the broader context of the war and how it has evolved. When the conflict first began, Ukraine faced overwhelming odds. Russia possessed superior numbers, heavier equipment, and decades of military infrastructure. Many believed Kiev would fall within days or weeks. That prediction turned out to be one of the greatest miscalculations in modern military history. Ukraine survived the initial onslaught and then did something even more remarkable. It began to push back. Over time, Ukraine transformed its military approach. Instead of relying on large, traditional offensives, it focused on agility, intelligence, and precision. Every strike became part of a larger narrative. Targets were chosen not just for their physical value, but for their psychological and symbolic impact. This fresh attack fits perfectly into that pattern. According to emerging details, Ukrainian forces targeted a site of significant importance to Russian operations. Whether it was a logistics hub, a command center, an ammunition storage facility, or a critical piece of infrastructure, the message was the same. Ukraine can still reach deep, hit accurately, and cause serious disruption. The timing of the strike is also crucial. It came at a moment when Russia was attempting to project stability and control. Officials had been assuring the public that defenses were strong and that threats were contained. This attack shattered that image in a single night. Inside Russia, the reaction was immediate and intense. Social media platforms filled with images of burning structures, damaged facilities, and frantic emergency responses. Despite efforts by state-controlled media to minimize the incident, the reality was impossible to hide. People could hear the explosions, they could see the smoke, they could feel the fear. For ordinary Russians, this was another reminder that the war is not distant. It is not confined to faraway front lines. It has consequences at home. This psychological impact is one of Ukraine's most powerful tools. Every successful strike undermines the sense of security that authorities try to maintain. Every explosion raises questions about preparedness, leadership, and the true cost of the war. At the same time, the attack boosted morale inside Ukraine. After enduring relentless missile barrages, drone attacks, blackouts, and civilian suffering, moments like this serve as proof that resistance matters. They show that Ukraine is not simply absorbing blows, but actively shaping the conflict. Ukrainian officials responded with careful language. There were no exaggerated claims or reckless statements. Instead, they emphasized defense, sovereignty, and determination. This measured tone is deliberate. Ukraine understands the importance of maintaining international support and avoiding unnecessary escalation in rhetoric. Behind the scenes, however, military planners were already analyzing the results. Damage assessments, intelligence reports, and battlefield data were being reviewed to extract lessons for future operations. Every strike is both an action and an experiment, revealing strengths and exposing weaknesses on both sides. International reactions followed quickly. Western leaders reaffirmed Ukraine's right to defend itself while calling for restraint and de-escalation. Analysts debated the implications of the attack, with some arguing it demonstrated Ukraine's growing capabilities, while others warned of potential retaliation. Russia now faces a difficult situation. Responding forcefully risks further escalation and international isolation. Responding weakly risks appearing vulnerable and ineffective. This dilemma has become increasingly common for Moscow as Ukraine continues to challenge assumptions about Russian dominance. One of the most striking aspects of this attack is how it reflects the changing nature of modern warfare. Traditional concepts of front lines and rear areas are becoming obsolete. Drones, long-range missiles, cyber operations, and real-time intelligence mean that no location is truly safe. Ukraine has embraced this reality by leveraging technology, innovation, and intelligence. Sharing with allies, it has managed to level the playing field in ways that few anticipated. As more information emerges, analysts are piecing together how the attack was carried out. Patterns suggest careful planning, coordination, and timing. Air defenses were likely studied and exploited. Routes were chosen to maximize effectiveness while minimizing risk. This level of sophistication did not appear overnight. It is the result of years of adaptation, training, and experience gained under fire. For Russia, each successful Ukrainian strike forces adjustments. Assets must be relocated, defenses must be reinforced, resources must be diverted away from offensive operations. Over time, this constant pressure takes a toll. Wars are not won solely by capturing territory. They are won by exhausting the enemy's ability to continue fighting. Ukraine's strategy appears increasingly focused on this long-term goal. As the dust settles, the broader implications of this fresh attack become clearer. It reinforces the idea that Ukraine remains capable and resilient. It challenges narratives of inevitability and fatigue. It reminds the world that this conflict is far from resolved. For global audiences, the strike serves as another wake-up call. The war in Ukraine is not just a regional issue. It has implications for international security, economic stability, and the future of global order. Every escalation, every breakthrough, and every setback ripples outward. Inside Russia, the attack adds to growing unease. Questions about leadership, decisions, military effectiveness, and the true state of the war are becoming harder to suppress. While dissent may be muted, it is not absent. Inside Ukraine, determination remains strong. Despite immense losses and hardships, the belief that resistance is meaningful continues to drive the nation forward. Each successful operation strengthens that belief. As night turns to day and the smoke clears, one thing is certain. This was not the last strike. It was part of an ongoing struggle defined by adaptation, resilience, and resolve. Ukraine has shown once again that it is not merely reacting to events. It is actively shaping them. Russia has been rocked by this fresh attack, but the deeper impact may only be felt in the days and weeks ahead. Decisions made now, strategies adjusted under pressure, and lessons learned from this moment will influence the next phase of the war. The conflict continues to evolve, and with it, the stakes continue to rise. Ukraine hits back hard, and the world is watching closely, knowing that the next move could come at any moment in any place, and with consequences that reach far beyond the battlefield. Stay tuned, because this story is still unfolding, and the next chapter may arrive sooner than anyone expects.